Let's get, let's get this party started. Welcome to the replay for anybody who is watching this. I already said welcome to all of you guys. We had a bit of a yap before I started recording. I invite you, those of you on the call who are here live, to, if you can change your view to the gallery view. So I mean, most people have their camera off, but we can at least like see the archetypes, or like the avatar that people have chosen. I would also invite you to open up the chat. Whoops. So that, because a lot of times, like, if we don't want to pop in, feel free to interject in these calls as well, unless I'm like, if I'm like in the middle of a flow, like put your hand up virtually, right? So that, well, I just put my own hand up. So it'll signal me. Or just feel free to pop stuff in the chat at any time. We have multiple mediums as far as our communication goes. So some general housekeeping as far as what we're doing here. This is the first community call in the Bright Light Collective of the month. The first Monday of each month is going to be open access for everybody in the server. And then this is something I do on the weekly for the True Sky Baddies and the Circle of Stars. This particular ritual, since the full moon landed on the same day, I usually do a Monday segment, the community call, which is like usually going through the astral. Like I look at whatever the aspects are for the week, or we just talk about whatever the collective is going through. Whoever shows up to the call, we have a chit chat, metaphysical chit chat. This particular call is a bit different though. So this is a more structured circle/ritual that we're going to participate in together here to harness the potential of the full moon. So the moon, if you're not aware, is a catalyst. It's an emotional catalyst for us. So it is in charge of our emotional well-being, our security, our stability. It also antagonizes us intentionally in order for us to become aware of our shit, right? So like in the full moon in particular, this is when the moon is like, hello, like this is the stuff you've been avoiding, or these are the things that need to come up, right? And like, so there's different themes we can dissect as far as like the specifics of this lunation, which I'm going to do a little screen share because I do want to talk about some of the general energies. But then you can also get more specific by looking at what house it falls in for you, right? So if anybody on the call right now, just if you're not on your phone or whatever, if you want to check your birth chart, like just on masteringthezodiac.com, or if you're watching this on the replay, maybe like just having this information can be helpful when it comes to the intentions and like the release that we're doing through the somatic aspect. But you want to look at 15 degrees Cancer, like what house that falls in essentially. And then that'll give you another layer of information as far as where this is playing out in your life. Okay. Because the houses, the houses represent the hero's journey in the material world. They correspond to the 12, right? And they're even in this system because the material world is encapsulated by the 12 even segments of the clock, the hours of the day and the night and such, right? So there's no 13th house. It's still only 12 because Ophiuchus and Scorpio share the 8th house of death and rebirth. So the houses all correspond to a different zodiac and they have themes. I did make a post in the Discord as well with a like a carousel piece of content that I made with each house and how that relates. But this is also something that we can discuss kind of generally in the call, depending on how much time we have. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of the specifics of the lunation. We'll do a little bit of sharing, and then we're going to do a movement practice with a little playlist that I made up. And if you're watching this on the replay, I would just listen to the playlist. I'll post it probably in the comments so you can get better audio quality. I'm not going to be interjecting too much into the playlist. Sometimes I'll like pop in and say things in the microphone, but I feel like just dancing my ass off today. So I probably won't be saying too much. But then at the end, I will be guiding you through a meditation related to the themes of the lunation. So this particular ritual, the full moon and the new moon, these moving forward are going to be reserved for the Circle of Stars membership, which is my brand new mystery school. So you can get in on that today is the last day to get a 50% off membership. And so it's $22 Canadian a month. And I will lock that in. You're going to get access to my astrology course. I'm going to upload my my old school How to Love Your Meat Robot intuitive weight loss course that I did in 2020. And then I also have an intuitive eating, like how to fuel your meat robot book that I'm going to put in there. And I am working on a lunar calendar thanks to, I believe it was Wendy. I don't know if she's on here, but somebody commented in the Discord asking me if there was a list of the lunations in the true sky for the year. And I was like, no, there isn't. I'll make one. So I'm making a little ebook as far as that's concerned. And all of that will be included in the Circle of Stars membership, okay? If you are a true sky baddie who has been with me since the initiation of this membership tier and you're having difficulty, it's too much of a stretch to upgrade, please reach out to me. We can figure something out. Money is not the only exchange here, okay? There's other things that can be done. So that being said, the housekeeping out of the way, let's get into some of the specific aspects that we're currently experiencing. So right now we are about, what is it, 12, like 17 hours post apex of the lunation. Where is, oh, here we go. Oh my, there are like 40 million things open. Okay. So here we are. This is the current astrology right now. Let me just get the chat open here so I can still see. Stacy's just asking in the chat about the 13th month solar calendar. I saw something about this recently, about the 13-month solar calendar, and I have not looked into it enough to have any information as far as responding, but this is definitely something. Stacy, can you remind me or like post it in the Discord server maybe under like cosmic weather or something like that? And that'll remind me. It'll like open a tab so that I can come back to that. Because it's interesting to me. Like there's a creator who had been following me actually since the beginning of when I started talking about this astrology. And at first he was like, I'll just let people be. But now I see he's talking about like true sidereal and like how, you know, the tropical is reinforcing the false matrix. And I saw he made a video recently talking about this 13-month solar calendar, and it seemed like like my initial instinct is like how like the solar calendar is based off the masculine energy with operates on the 24, right? Like, but the lunar is the feminine, like so I don't know. That was my initial reaction, was like, how does that work? Like, so, but I would definitely, I'm keen to understand it more. So if you have any more information that you want to share, this is probably not the call for it because we have a kind of tight agenda for today. But pop it in the Discord and we can investigate that a bit more. All right, so here we are on today's astrology, okay? So this is real time right now. When the moon was at the apex of its lunation, so like the pinnacle of its lunar cycle with the most 100% volume, it was at 15 degrees Cancer. So you got to look, when you look at your birth chart, like you look, you look at your, I can't quite read the numbers because I need my glasses, but I think Meg put her chart in the chat and it looks like her rising sign is pretty darn close to to 15 degrees. Yeah. Homie's feeling it, I'm sure, right? So this is how astrology works, right? Like astrology is basically like fucked up karmic bingo, okay? Like whatever your natal chart is your bingo card. So, and the current transits are like the caller, right? They're like pulling the balls and they're calling the numbers, and like you're like, if you have a match, you yell bingo, right? So that's kind of what we're doing. That's the idea with when you're looking at comparing your birth chart to the current transits. But regardless if you have like specific activation or aspecting between the current transits and your natal chart, everybody's going to be affected by the lunations based on the house, right? So looking at the houses. What house is that for you, Meg? I can't see it. Is it? Oh, it's your rising sign. Duh, it'd be the first house. Identity, the self, right? In your body also. So the main energies that I wanted to bring to your attention as far as the purpose of today's call and like the ritual that we're participating in together is the dynamic between like where the moon was in Cancer here. So Cancer is like the mom of the zodiac, right? Like the cardinal water, the crab, our emotions, our internal private life, like your roots, your home life, right? Your who you are on the inside, who you are in private. And then Capricorn, which is the daddy of the zodiac, right? Like that cardinal earth, the public sphere, being seen, like being outward. This is basically the masculine and the feminine, right? And there's been so much interplay between the masculine and the feminine in the collective recently, and the aspects have facilitated the movement of the collective away from the old paradigm of the overemphasis of the masculine, the prioritization of the masculine, the inversion of the order of creation, saying that the masculine comes first, right? Like everything serves the masculine, and like you don't deserve to rest unless you've worked hard, that kind of idea, right? Like putting your authority outside of yourself. It reinforcing the separation, right? Because it's like eat or get eaten, like that kind of vibe, right? So we're moving away as the velocity of the universe continues to speed up. We are seeing more space between our matter, right? Like this is physics. So the faster that things go as we move into a golden age, and this is just polarity, right? We were in the contraction of the dark ages, and now we're moving towards the expansion of the golden age, and then after that it'll go back, right? Never ending cycles from destruction to creation, expansion to contraction, right? So we're currently in a phase where we're moving towards more expansion, and as things speed up, the matter, there's more space between it, and the space between is the ether. This is the God source, the everything, right? And so this is why we're having all sorts of spontaneous awakenings. Like spirituality is becoming more normalized, right? Like you don't have to be a weirdo, you don't have to give up your human life and live in an ashram, like wear white linens. You can do that if you want to, but like I don't know, it doesn't seem like very much fun to me. Like I would rather be both, and this is the energy of the new earth paradigm as we move forward into an experience where we are really operating from that heart space, from the middle, the Pisces vesica of the material and the spiritual, right? We're not here to ascend and leave our bodies and go into the 5D. You're here to bring the 5D into your body at the same time, right? Like being a muggle and being a wizard aren't mutually exclusive, right? Like they're the same thing. You have the access and the capacity to harness both. And this is what the energies, the aspect patterns in the astrology that we've been hit with over the last several lunar cycles, years even, have been facilitating that movement, right? And this is just another layer of that. Like it feels like it's getting a bit more serious with all this Capricorn energy, right? Like Capricorn really wants you to get your shit together. Capricorn wants you to face your limitations and embrace them. Like there's value to that. Hold on, my cat needs to get up. This is Mackie for anybody who's new. Oh, kitties. She's
always in the lap when I come up here.
She doesn't have front claws. She got declawed by her previous owner, but she definitely has back claws. But she's a bit overweight and she can't jump on the bed anymore. And I feel like she probably could jump on the bed, but she had a couple of attempts where she fell and now she won't do it. So she will be behind me typically on most calls. So anywho, back to the astrology. So lots of daddy energy, right? Like lots of like, let's get your shit together. Let's get a plan. And like, not from a place, and like, I know there's personally, as somebody who has pretty intense daddy issues, like this is like the core of my karmic imprinting was the abandonment wound from my father, right? Like, so I have resistance to order, structure, rules, limitations. I am innately oppositional defiant when it comes to being told to do anything, right? So it's not that energy. There's a slight nuance with this, right? It's like that is from the outside. That's the external. But the same energy of discipline from the external can be transmuted into devotion if it's coming from the heart space, right? So the key is to be switching the inversion, right? Reclaiming your power from the inverted society, taking it back from the external locus and learning to retrain your focus to the internal, right? And when you're operating with enough practice, practice makes progress with this. It's not like a quick fix, because looking outside of you keeps you safe, right? Your body doesn't want you to die. So it's not going to give that up easily. So you have to learn to calm the body down, right? Purify the vessel, do what you can to reduce the static in your meat robot. And side note, the How to Love Your Meat Robot course that I'm going to upload talks about this, but it's like, it's funny watching things. So it's like 6 years ago, right? So it's like based on my understanding 6 years ago, but there's still gold in it, right? The key though, like the point with it is that the more that you take care of your vessel, the more that you like purify it, like little cat hairs in my face, the easier it is to take your attention from the outside and put it within, right? To then be able to embody Capricorn energy, the structures and the limitation, the value of the material world, the value of hard work, the value of patience, right? Like this idea of things taking time and putting in the effort, and like that not being a bad thing. Right? Because I know, like, for so many of us in the spiritual community, and I mean, in the overculture in general, there has been this overemphasis of that doing energy, the production being connected to your value, right? Like, you can't rest until you have done enough, but like, you never do enough, right? Kind of idea, right? So, like, it's almost like as a collective within the New Age has definitely been responsible for this as well. But this idea of kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater, and now we've got this whole segment of spiritually inclined humans who have rejected the material world, right? They don't want anything to do with it, and they're just living off of hopes and dreams, and like their faith, vision, Delulu is the Solulu in a lot of ways, but faith without work is not going to get you anywhere, right? Like, because you're missing the doing energy. In order for anything to come into being, there's 3 parts, right? Masculine doing energy, the external giving force. Feminine receiving energy, the expansive receiving force. And then neutral, the blank, the incubating force, okay? And so it's not like we don't need the doing energy or the structures or the limitation of the material world and like planning and patience and lessons, even the karma, the density that comes with that human experience, right? It's not that we don't need that, but we need just a lot less of it than we've been conditioned to believe, right? And the order has been perverted, right? So blank space and the feminine come first. The masculine is the third in the trifecta, right? The doing energy serves the feminine energy. And the feminine energy only knows what's up when she's leaning into the neutral force, right? And neutral force is one of the harder ones to kind of articulate, because it's literally nothing, right? People are like, well, how do I get into neutral? Just nothing, do nothing. No giving, no receiving. Like, just being. Just right now. Just be in the moment exactly as it is, right? So anything that has you fully present in the moment, right? Like walking meditations, you can even doing your dishes. Like, you can be in a neutral meditative state, doing mundane things around your home, as long as you're present while you're doing them. You're out of the head and into the heart. Get out of the head, looking outside of you, get into the heart as your baseline. Okay. And when that becomes your normal, the homeostasis that your being is used to, then one, it's way easier. Like you can just relax, and it's like life becomes a lot more fun. But 2, you make space and like give an opportunity for the inspiration to sneak in the back door, right? Because like whatever you're looking for, whenever you're seeking, you're like searching, oh, I gotta maybe this or maybe that, or like I gotta learn this modality, I have to, study this chart, right? Like we're seeking all of this stuff outside of ourselves, and we're missing what is actually going on behind us, right? So if we can just stop seeking and just be, right? Just practice being, then this Capricorn energy can be embodied in a way that serves your mission, right? This is inspired action. in a nutshell. Okay, so this is the primary theme of what is going on right now as far as the astrology in general, but this full moon in particular. The full moon in Cancer. Okay, so with the moon being nowadays in Leo, right? So technically, we are bringing that kind of energy of like releasing the shadow of Leo as well, right? Like performance, egoic leadership, anything that you're doing because you care about what other people think, anything that you're doing because you want to be perceived in a particular type of way, right? Like this is the shit, right? Mixed in with that energy of Cancer, which is wanting you to let go of the feelings that are keeping you stuck in that old paradigm, right? Like what are the emotions that are making you feel like you need to work hard, or that you have to trade your time for money, or or maybe even that you're resisting structure? Like where are you resisting building a heart-centered structure? Where are you resisting rest? These sorts of things come up with the lunation in particular. And then I also wanted to point out, now, I know most of the people here on the call are in one of the tiers, so they're probably paying attention to the energy reports. But like one of the ongoing aspect patterns that has been influencing everything in a not so subtle way, in my opinion, but doesn't really get a lot of press when it comes to astrology, is Black Moon Lilith. Okay, this is the apogee of the moon. It's kind of like the nodes as far as its significance. Like the nodes are just a point in the sky. The Black Moon Lilith is the apogee of the moon, like where the moon is the furthest away. Like that's where the lunar point from us. And so it represents the repressed feminine, the wild feminine, you know, like where you're not going to bite your tongue anymore, like where you're not going to take it kind of energy. Right. And she just went through. So like we just had this whole period, a couple of lunar cycles, a month's worth of Lilith in Libra, you know, really bringing the heat to relationships. Anything that is any relationship where you're dimming yourself, where you're giving up your needs in order to serve somebody else, anything where you're having to diminish yourself in order to participate in a relationship, and not just with people, you know, but relationships with habits, places, institutions, friends groups, like jobs, these sorts of things, right? Like all relationships of all sorts. So we had that, and now Lilith is now in the underworld in Scorpio, about to pass through the gauntlet that is Scorpio and Ophiuchus, the death and rebirth cycle. So it's getting intense as far as that goes. It's getting a bit deeper, you know, like these layers are like an onion. They could just keep going. And so Lilith, as you can see, there's a lot of different aspects coming from her, right? So she's opposing Uranus. So there's this energy of like sudden shocks, nervous system dysregulation, as Uranus is in Taurus as well, sudden changes to your physical environment. A lot of people in the collective are experiencing unexpected shifts, losing jobs, losing family members, losing all sorts of things, right? And this is really dysregulating to the nervous system because it reminds us of our own mortality, and like the uncertainty is one of the worst things for humans to deal with psychologically, right? Because we want to know what is going on so that we can build a plan and a schema around it, right? So we've had this like uncertainty. The lunation as well, also being aspected by Uranus, right? So this energy of like sudden shocks, things can change quickly, which can be potentially like a tower moment, right? Like a negative thing. But often, like the tower comes right before the star in the arcana, right? Like you need the tower to happen before you can blast off, kind of idea. But you got to get comfortable with that in between. So you got to be able to let it go in order for the new to come in. Lilith is also at like there's like trines and aspects. She's squaring both of the nodes right now, right? So we've got the South Node in Leo dismantling that performative spirituality, egoic leadership, anything that's superficial, you know, like we're going to really see a shift in the social media space, I feel like, over the next year and a half as this continues to go through. People are sick of celebrity culture. People are sick of influencers who are not walking the walk, or people who are just generating AI scripts and reading them on their videos. Like that kind of shit we're going to see that start, you know, there's going to be a subsection of the population that like that, right? But like people are starting to see through it. And so this is at play as well. And then the North Node in Aquarius, really bringing that Age of Aquarius vibes, right? Like freedom, innovation, frick you, I won't do what you tell me kind of vibes, right? So this is what's going on overall as far as the aspects. And I could literally, I could yap about the specifics and nitty gritties of this for a while, but that's not the intent of this call. Essentially, what I want you to think about, I'm gonna kind of rapid fire a few contemplation questions or themes into the circle. I'm gonna stop screen sharing this so I can see y'all. And I'm going to just throw a number of different themes, questions related to everything that I just shared here. And then we'll do a little, anybody who, there's a lot of people on the call, so not everybody needs to share if they don't want to. But we'll do a little share to see where you're at and what is resonating for you as far as this lunation is concerned. So basically, you want to be considering where have you been pushing, feeling like you need to prove yourself, or over functioning out of habit. Okay. And like over functioning is something that so many of us participate in without even realizing it because we're so indoctrinated into this overemphasis of the masculine. Conversely, there is a subsection of the population who is underperforming in response to these energies, right? So you have to feel in, feel in, where are you? Are you really, you're over functioning? Oops. Over to do because you can't rest? Or are you disembodied and spending all your time in the astral realm and you're not doing enough, right? Like there's outliers on both ends of the spectrum. So you got to feel in where you're at as far as that goes. Other contemplations to consider is where, because of the axis, so it's like basically the 10th house and the 4th house as well, like when we're looking at the archetypes of Capricorn and Cancer, we tend to really armor ourselves up when it comes to the 10th house, right? Like we put on our armor to protect ourselves when it comes to being seen, the way that we're perceived, especially if you are attracted to my work, you're probably a freaking weirdo. And like, you probably have a whole lot of really non-conformative, beliefs, we'll say. You're a trucier, right? And these sorts of things are really aggravating to people around you. So you've probably learned to hide that part of yourself, shield yourself, because there's a very real, memory, a trauma of being burned at the stake for this sort of shit, right? Like the witch wound, regardless of whether you identify as a witch or whatever, as a magical human, we've been persecuted for this shit historically, right? So thinking about what are you doing? What are you carrying? What are you participating in? Because it once kept you safe, but now it feels heavy. Now it feels like it's weighing you down. Like where are you overperforming or underperforming? What patterns are you participating in that kept you safe and small, but need to be released? Where are you trading your energy or time in ways that don't feel aligned? Again, really evaluating those relational dynamics. And what would it feel like to stop earning rest? Or conversely, what would it feel like to actually get your shit together and build something, to follow through on it, right? So those are the themes that I want you to be considering when we're doing the movement practice. But also I'm going to open the floor up now for anybody who wants to introduce themselves, say hello to the circle, share a little bit about who they are and what they're doing here, perhaps as an intro, since there's some new faces on the call today, and anything that's on your heart, anything related to anything that I said. So it's a really open-ended invitation. But that's how we're doing it today. Diego has raised his hand. What do you have to say?
Yeah, man. I got a bit of stuff. Well, when it comes to this full moon, it's in the 8th house for me, and my Venus is in the 8th house too. And so I didn't know that until just now, which is interesting. And I've been like thinking about this girl that I was dating like a year ago, and it was super toxic. Like we were using each other to like get high and all sorts of things. And it's like this part of myself, you could say, is like just yearning for that, even though it drained me completely and I was like depressed. It's like it just wants something that's familiar and it wants companionship. And the
Mm.
mind would prefer something that's familiar than something new, I guess. And then when it comes to like patterns that are being lived out currently, it's like I've been disassociating from reality by using like things I used to do when I was growing up. Like when I grew up, I used to be on technology like all the time. And then I kind of just stopped doing it because I was like, damn, like I'm just wasting my time on this. And it just didn't feel right to do it anymore. And now I've been watching like TV shows every day for like hours, and it's like, damn, like what am I doing? Like I can't stop, it feels like, and I don't actually feel good when I'm doing it, and I feel drained after. And it's yeah. Oh, also sleeping in. Like it's like there's this like anxiety of waking up in the morning and having to go do shit.
Mm.
I just wanted to stay asleep. So it's like a lot of disassociation from doing things, which has been a theme that's present in my life. Yeah.
Hmm. Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing, Diego. And, I bet you can guess what I'm gonna say.
I've heard it, man. I've heard it. It's like,
I know, I know. Like, what's wrong? What's wrong with all this stuff, though? Like when we have these desires, there's a reason. Like it's filling a need, right? So, like, what is the need that's missing that you're trying to fill with that?
I think it's comfort. Like there just wants to be comfort.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
not actually comfortable to do it. That's the thing. It's like
Right.
it's searching for comfort in the wrong places. See, I was just reading this thing. Sorry guys if I'm taking up all your time, but I was just reading this thing about Venus being like outwardly solar on like a spiritual plane, but inwardly corrosive. It's like the virtues of Venus, if they're translated to a physical plane, become very corrosive. It's like the pleasure seeking. If you're searching
Mhm.
for it physically, it kind of fucks you up.
Yeah, Venus in the eighth house is a toughie too, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what retrograde mean, but it's also in retrograde.
Well, that's a more internal experience, technically. This is all. So you've just gained access to the course, the 13 Nachamamas Astrology. All of this information is included in nerdy detail as far as the specifics of all of that. Julie is saying in the chat, in the tree of life, Venus is chaos. Yeah. Sonura's sharing, I've habitually kept a lot of expression to myself and less with trusted friends and family. And over the last few months, I've started sharing more of nice, slow and steady, like that crab's not coming out of her shell quickly, right? Like you gotta test the waters. You gotta be kind to your nervous system as you're doing that. So that is lovely to hear. It's like exposure therapy, right? And like this is honestly part of my intention, the vision or like the mission of the Bright Light Collective is to help us curate relational safety with other people, right? So that we don't feel like we're going to die and get kicked out of the tribe and like get eaten by wolves, right? So, does anybody else want to pop on and share who they are, what they're doing, what they're feeling, anything? Free for all. Otherwise, I'm gonna read. It's Mary
Hey
Kate
girl.
has. Oh, who? Wait, sorry. Who popped on?
Hello, I'm Anise.
Hello, Anise.
Hi, nice to see you. Yeah, I am living on a rural island, Galliano in BC, and I'm a mom, and I'm a astrologer, but with Western, I learned. So I'm like all new to this, and I'm loving it because I feel both of them. So it's kind of cool to be like, oh, this and that, and then yeah, it's just opening my whole world. Yeah, and I'm excited about it, and I feel like I've been over functioning, especially like with this Lilith and the new moon or the full moon. I feel like I've been over functioning in my relationship. Like I've been the caretaker, and I am also a caretaker for my kid, and I'm just noticing like, yeah, I would like to be taken care of more or thought of more, and I feel like I'm doing a lot of that. And then I had a big conversation with my partner, which was good because like, yay, finally opened my mouth and like say the things. Yeah, so I'm kind of dealing with that. And it's not easy, but I'm like, I gotta just keep like opening my throat chakra and saying my truth. Because if I can't, then like what is this relationship that I'm in anyways, right? Like I gotta be me. And yeah.
Nice. So thank you for sharing it. I mean, it's not easy for sure, like you said, right? But like, I think if it was easy, we would just be really bored, honestly. Like, I think the whole point is that it's meant to be challenging because it's like interesting when it's challenging, you know, and like throat chakra is a toughie again because of that. Like, there's so many layers for so many of us, especially feminine, you know, bodied humans, right? Like we receive so much messaging that like we have to shush and like it's if we don't, we're gonna get some sort of like mortal danger, you know? So good for you. Practice makes progress. Feel free to share your voice as much as you want in the collective as well, to practice some of that exposure therapy.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I'm just reading Mary Kate's comment here as well. She's going through a tower moment at this point, having some pretty significant health issues, career issues, friends, yeah, social. Yeah, this sounds a lot like what's going on. Very, very relatable story for anybody who wants to read the details of Mary Kate's current situation. And I'm not an asshole. I am kind of an asshole, but like I giggle at these like traumas because it's a cosmic joke. We all have so much shit that we have to deal with. You got to learn to laugh at it, right? Like just like reading so many layers of stuff that, you know, it's just being dismantled. It's like the destructive force of the universe removing these things so that you can have something new come in, right? Like otherwise you just got like this stank ass pond of murky water that's not moving. Like you got to let some of that water out in order for the fresh water to come in. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to pop into the circle to share before we get in? The movement practice is about half an hour, so I would like to get that started shortly. But we have time for one or two more shares if anybody else would like to pop on.
I did pop some cards into the chat if you want to have a look-see for the call.
Where did I?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
there they are.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? So many humans in the chat today. I love it.
I know, it's so great. Me
Yeah.
too. I love seeing everybody here, even if I don't get to see all your smiley, happy faces.
Queen of Pentacles, the World, and the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, it's like all these major arcanas, eh? Like,
I know, this deck is just forever spitting out major arcana for me. And I pulled the Wheel of Fortune for myself today also and the Lovers, so make of it what you will, but the Wheel of Fortune is strong today.
yep, the wheel is turning. The wheel is turning for sure. And this is, you know, the more that we release, the more that we step into that Queen of Pentacles energy, right? Like the the divine feminine ruling the material world. You know what I mean? Like this is really the essence of that receivership, running the show, right? And like the world as well, like the final card of the major arcana, like the end the end game, although it's like an Ouroboros, right? Like it just keeps going. But that feels really salient for the energies as I'm feeling them at this point. Anybody else want to pop anything into the circle before we get moving?
I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, okay, cool. Hi. So I'm Alicia. Hi, guys.
Hi, Alicia.
I started, I think, 2 weeks ago. I think that's when I joined the Circle of Stars. And I saw you guys' messages, but I'm still getting a little familiar with the Discord app. But I live in New York City. I'm also a single mother. This transit is going through my 10th house of in Cancer, and then I guess now it's in my 11th house. And it's funny because I'm being introduced to a new group of people, a new community. I don't know if Chinese zodiac or Chinese astrology is similar because they said the snake season and a lot of shedding. But yes, I've had a lot of turbulence, to say the least, within my family. Mainly just my family. That's really the only, I guess I've been fortunate. That's really the only up and down and upheaving that I've been going through. But I did have a lot of just unfortunate events growing up. And so I'm actually happy that a lot has happened. A lot of things have been disconnected, and it's unfortunate to say that I feel lighter. So I know that it either must have, needed to end, or it's the stars doing what the stars do, or the planets doing what the planets do. And I feel better about it. I look forward to the new year. I just would like to understand all these placements and everything that's going on month to month with the planets. But yeah, a lot of changes, um, a lot of changes when it comes to my family, and so far that's the only changes that I've been experiencing.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And it's nice to see you, to put a face to your name as
Yeah.
well. So it's funny, like learn
Yeah.
people by their usernames or like through email and stuff. And then it's it's always nice to actually see someone's face, to put a face to the energy. But yeah, definitely I feel that, like the shifts and the changes, and it's so uh challenging for the nervous system, right? Like we want to hang on because we don't know what's coming next. But you're right, you said it, like the gratitude, like we have to be grateful for these things also, right? Like because it's part of the process, like the death and the leaving of certain elements in our lives is what makes way for the new to come through.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we got time for one more person to share before we start moving. If anybody else wants to pop anything into the circle. Rosalie has unmuted herself.
A couple times now. I guess it's my turn now. Hello, I'm happy to be here. And Anise and I are sisters, so that's kind of cool to
Oh,
see.
that's so funny.
Yeah. So I live in the Pacific Northwest, and I can relate to a lot of these shares, like in particular, the, kind of balancing between the disassociating and embodiment type thing, as well as, what was the other thing? Sometimes I take little notes as I'm going, and then when it gets to my turn, I forget it all.
I feel that.
I forgot. But oh, the voice. Yeah, using a voice. Because I had been like a little withdrawn. Like I had been kind of full force and then withdrawn. And now I'm back to like being out there and the willingness to be seen and all of that kind of thing. Yeah, and I have been on different like intuitive groups, and I've done like, when it came to my share, like it was mostly Western astrology. I tried to be more inclusive. Not that I really have like a great idea of what's going on, but I tried to do a little bit of research so I could say like, oh, this says the moon's here and this says the moon's here, that kind of thing. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to diving in a little bit more. And I really love the idea of embracing the actual sky, like where the stars actually are, because that's the energy that we're, actually dealing with. So
100%. Amazing. Well, thank you so much. I'm pleased to put a face to your name as well, and I'm glad to see you here. I appreciate the share, and I also just want to say on that note as well. I get a bad rep. I get a rep. There's no good or bad, but people often pop off on me saying like, that tropical works and like I shouldn't be so like this is the only way. And like I just want to be clear, this is not the only way. There are many ways. Everything is a tool, right? And like the message is that like every tool can be used with your discernment, right? In my experience, the tropical lens is limited and it's not going to allow you to actually self-actualize with the celestial cycles, and there's way deeper resonance with it. But if it brings you joy and it's helpful in some way, it's a tool that is open for you to use, right? So there's no dogma here because everything is useful in some way in some way, shape, or form. So that being said, we're going to move into the movement part of today's call. It is a dance arc that I curated. It's about 25 minutes. And usually with these, so like this one, I'm like feeling it, like I need to move. And so it's a bit more upbeat, pretty EDM based. And usually with these playlists, I curate like conscious creators and like, I'm mindful about the tones and things like that are being used in music. But I did have to throw like an old school happy hardcore song in this playlist set. Because I've been in my turn of the century club kid era recently. And so we got a little DJ Sammy in the middle, FYI. So don't be surprised. Okay, so what I would encourage for this practice, everybody's at different energy points in their cycle and where they're feeling right now, right? So I invite you to listen to your body, be present with the music, and no matter what you're doing, whether you're doing some yoga. The first song is very long. It's like 7 minutes of chanting to kind of get you in the flow of moving. And then it's like several EDM songs in a row, basically. Okay. I encourage you to use your voice. Your voice is technology, toning and singing, sighing, doing things like growling, like, or like, chirps, like whatever tribal sounds want to come out of you, okay, and whatever you're feeling. This is part of the technology of your body, and what we're doing, the point of this, is to move your synovial fluid, the physiological part of the body, right, all of the fluid that runs between your tendons and your ligaments and everything in between your joints. But also, this is connected to your auric field, your energy body, right? The astral body and the emotional body, where hidden traumas and suppressed emotions hang out, right? So when the moon is at its apex, doing this sort of practice at this time helps you to, I want you to envision sending it to the moon. And then we're going to do a little meditation at the end. When you hear the meditation music come on, if you're listening to it on a playlist, come back, because then I'm going to guide you through a little grounding with the elements, and then some breathing to release that armor. Okay. So that, I think I said all of the things. I covered all of the aspects. This is my solution to bad sound quality. I have a Bluetooth and my fancy. But if you want to use, frick, I can't do this. So if you want to use your own playlist, I'm going to start it in 3, 2, 1.
I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. Hear the habitat howl is striking. Took a leap to get lit in your light beam. Make the ground shake. Blind to the time of a late night. So we mobbing until the day breaks. I don't have a plan, but fate might make the ground shake.
like tides around the
Here it comes.
Baby, you're all that I want. When you're lying here in my arms, I'm finding it hard to believe we're in heaven. We're in heaven. Oh, thinking about our younger years. There was only you and me. We were young and wild and free. Now nothing can take you away from me. We've been down that road before, but that's over now. You keep me coming back for more. Baby, you're all that I want. When you're lying here in my arms, I'm finding it hard to believe we're in heaven. And love is all that I need, and I found it there in your heart. It isn't too hard to see. We're in heaven. We're in heaven. Now nothing can change what you mean to me. There's a lot that I could say, but just hold me now. 'Cause our love will light the way. Baby, you're all that I want. When you're lying here in my arms, I'm finding it hard to believe we're in heaven. And love is all that I need, and I found it there in your heart. It isn't too hard to see. We're in heaven. How our dreams are coming true, through the good times and the bad. I'll be standing there by you. We're in heaven. Love is all that I need, and I found it there in your heart. It isn't too hard to see. We're in
Oh yeah. That's an old school bop.
Speak from the heart, and people will listen. Be who you are. You don't need permission. Earth is improved because you are different. Don't fear what is different. Know your own worth. You're here for a reason. Speak from the heart, and people will listen. Be who you are. You don't need permission. Earth is improved because you are different. Don't fear what is different. Know your own worth. You're here for a reason. Complete your mission. Trust in the vision. Trust in the vision. Trust in the vision. Trust in the vision. Speak from the heart and people will listen. Be who you are, you don't need permission. Earth is improved because you are different. Don't fear what is different. Know your own worth, you're here for a reason. Complete your mission. Trust in the vision. Trust in the vision. Trust in the vision. Trust in the vision.
Trust and allow. Trust and allow. Trust and allow the strength of your spirit. Always trust the strength of your spirit. Always trust the strength of your spirit. Trust and allow. Trust and allow. Trust and allow the strength of your spirit. Always trust the strength of your spirit. Always trust the strength of your spirit. Trust and allow. Trust and allow. Trust and allow the strength of your spirit. Always trust the strength of your spirit. Always trust the strength of your spirit. Trust and allow. Trust and allow. Trust and allow the strength of your spirit. Always trust the strength of your spirit. Always trust the strength of your spirit.
Making your way back to a seated or laying position. Closing your eyes. Taking a big breath in, expanding your diaphragm, pushing your belly out. Holding that breath as long as you can before you slowly exhale. And again, a big deep breath in, pushing your belly out, expanding your diaphragm, pulling the lungs down. Holding that air with softness, relaxing your jaw, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your forehead. Holding as long as you can, softly. Before you exhale, slowly. How long can you exhale? Bringing your attention to your root, your sit bones. Imagining a long cord or chain, or maybe it's a vine extending down through your root, through the floor, into the ground, the underworld, to the furthest reaches of the southern realm. Here we call in the wisdom of our ancestors of fire, the flame, the vitality, the will, those who acted from instinct and heart. Feel the spark of life within you, the fire that doesn't need to prove itself. Embodying this energy from our southern ancestors, returning back up your cord, through the underworld, the earth, the floor, straight to your sit bones. Up through your sacral and your solar plexus to the heart. On your next inhale, imagine your heart expanding with the vacuumous force of the universe. You are the black hole. You are the divine feminine essence, the receiving energy. Breathe in and expand your heart with the source. And as you exhale, your heart gets bigger. Taking your attention now up from the heart to your throat, the third eye, your crown. Imagining a cord going upwards past your head, the roof of your home, into the sky, past the clouds and the stars, to the furthest northern realm. The very tip. Here we call in the wisdom of our ancestors of the land, the earth, those who knew how to move slowly, tend to the body, and survive through relationship on the material realm. Feel their grounding presence beneath you and all around you. You are supported. You are not alone. Embracing this wisdom of our northern ancestors, return now down through the cord, past the stars and the clouds, through the roof of your home, down through the crown, the third eye, your throat, maybe taking a second here, imbibing your throat chakra with the wisdom of the elements before you continue back down into the heart, the astral bridge. Breathing in the vacuum, receives the source, the oneness. It expands your being as you breathe deeply. And as you exhale, your heart expands. Now taking your attention to your right shoulder, extending your arm, allowing the energy, the cord to fall down through your arm, past your fingertips, out through the wall, the window, the city, the seaside, the wilderness, the mountains, to the furthest eastern reach of our realm. Here we call in the wisdom of our ancestors of breath, language, and thought. the messengers, those who knew how to listen to the wind, to read the signs and communicate with clarity. Notice the breath moving you. You don't have to control it. It already knows how. Embracing this wisdom from our Eastern ancestors, make your way back through the path, the wilderness, the wild, the eastern reaches of the realm, back through your city, the wall, into your fingertips, past your arm and into your heart. Breathing in, the vacuum that is your heart expands, the astral bridge receives the oneness, the source that is between every single one of your atoms. Breathe it in, and as you exhale, feel your heart expand. Now turn your attention to your left shoulder, down your left arm, through the fingertips, out past the wall, your home, the wilderness, the cityscape, the ocean, to the furthest western reach of our realm. Here we call in the wisdom of our ancestors of the water, emotion and intuition, those who knew how to grieve, feel deeply and release without shame. Let the waters move through you. It's ready to move. Embodying the wisdom of our Western ancestors, make your way back. Follow the trail through the ocean, the wilderness, the mountains, the cityscape, and through the wall of your home, into your fingertips, back up your arm and into your heart once again. Breathing in, your heart receives the vacuum force of the universe, the source, the oneness, the everything and the nothing, the very essence of life and death. Receiving this force through your astral bridge, hold it as you inhale. Hold it as long as you can, relaxing your body. Relaxing your jaw, your shoulders. Hold that air. Hold the essence of the oneness in your heart before you exhale as slowly as you possibly can. As you're exhaling, feel the tension leave your body. A wave of relaxation replaces it. You are whole. You are home. You are perfect just as you are. Nothing needs to change. The universe needs you to be exactly as you are right now. You are playing an extremely important role in the grand scheme of never-ending potentials. Now invite your awareness to slowly move through your body from the top of your head, a golden spiral surrounding your head down past your shoulders, your chest, your abdomen, down through your hips and your legs. Notice any areas that feel tight or dense, maybe armored or braced for conflict. We don't need to fix it, we just need to notice it. This armor formed to protect you. It kept you safe. Thank the armor for its service. Honor the armor and its role that is played in getting you to where you are right now. On your next inhale, slowly push your belly out to expand your diaphragm. Pull the lungs down and get as much air in as you physically can. And when you think you're done, a little bit more. As you expand physically with this air pressure, feel the armor cracking. Crinkling, dismantling from the pressure. Exhale, a golden light emerges below the armor through the cracks. Fuel this shedding like a snake sheds its skin with the power of your breath. Inhale, the cracks get deeper. Exhale, the armor starts to fall off, sending the density to the moon. It's here to facilitate this process. Repeat this visual for a few more breaths. Inhaling, the cracks get more severe. Exhaling, the light shines through as the armor falls away. You don't have to force anything. Let the breath do the work. Inviting your awareness now back to your heart. Asking your higher self, what am I no longer available for? What am I now free to receive? What is the smallest, most honest next step for me to take? Don't seek for answers if they don't come immediately. Asking the question is enough. Sit in the space we've created here, marinate in the vibes. Only bringing your awareness back to the material plane. Gently wiggling your fingers and toes. Some small, slow movements. What a beautiful ritual. Now, typically I open up the field for a few last remarks, but today I feel inclined to encourage you all to just sit in the space that we've created a bit longer. Carry this energy into everything that you're doing. As I gotta go. So, I love y'all. Your presence is so important. This is a group effort, and I'm so appreciative to be able to hold space for such magical human beings. Thank you all so much. Please feel free. I actively encourage you to share any insights from the questions that you asked your higher self in the Discord server. I know we're all pretty antisocial. The more that we share, the more of a vibe we create. So, thus concludes today's ceremony. Thank you so much. I love y'all. I don't know if it'll do it. It's not gonna do it. No. Goodbye.